Hey guys, well, I did a thing. I eventually, after sitting on doing this mod for a good couple of months, I have installed a Rapidfire module inside my DJI goggles. Now, part of the reason I kind of sat on this, I received the TPU mount from Iflights going back, oh cracky, it must have been Christmas time, so at least 2 months. But I was so scared to open the pair of goggles up. But eventually I succumbed and I thought, you know what, to hell with it, I'm going to pull it all apart, follow the tutorials and get it installed. And the results have been quite decent, bar the fact that, well, I got a box of screws here. There's, I think, 4 screws in there. 2 of them I know where they go, but they went in the front little pads here, but I needed to put some longer ones on to make it fit. And the other 2, I don't know. It's somewhere inside here there are 2 screws missing, but I don't know. It's the joy of taking it apart and putting it together. But yeah, the logic I had at doing this mod is that one of the problems I've had with the whole digital system, apart from the range being nowhere near as good as it should be, is the fact that I end up having to take 2 pairs of goggles with me. And I know that if I have to take these goggles, and I don't know where my orcas are, if I had to take the orcas or the fat sharks or whichever ones I was taking with me, quite simply I just wouldn't bother. I'll end up taking one, and as I'm probably going to be flying a medium range wing, I'll end up just going with the analog, and the net result is the digital kit just doesn't get flown. So I started doing a couple of things, and first off, let me show you. First off, what I did is to try get my digital experience up a little bit, I got one of these, which was the Beta, I think it's a Beta 95 or something, but it's got a little Caddx Vista in it, and it enables me to fly around in the garden with the digital. So great. I started using the DJI goggles a little bit more. And then I realized that the next thing was if I could put the analog into this, the end result would be better. And I know that UAV, they do this very easy one which clips on the side, and that's great. But I wanted something a little bit more just, well, a little bit cooler. So I went for the Iflights one. And all up, whilst the mod took a bit of effort, let's say that much. It took a bit of effort. You want to make sure you have the tools, that you've got plenty space not to lose all the screws and things around you, and just take careful note of everything, and that way you won't end up losing 2 screws like I did. But the long and short of it, analog actually does work quite well. I know in the earlier firmware versions there were some latency issues. Certainly what I'm running now on this, I haven't noticed any issue. If I were to be critical of one thing, in fact there's 2 things I would say. First thing, it's a pity that when you're in analog mode it doesn't use the whole display. I get the reason why, you're pushing like an 800 by 600 odd pixel display into whatever this is, probably cracky twice that resolution with the digital, and the net result is that if you expand that image too great, you're going to be pixelating it even further and it's going to look shit. So yeah, so I can see why they don't do that, and you end up with a smaller picture on the big display with a lot of black around the border. And when I first put the goggles on my head I was like, oh crikey, this is rubbish, I'm just not going to be happy. But surprisingly, and it was a real surprise to me, is that once I actually was out flying in the garden getting on with my analog kit on here, I actually forgot all about that space. I didn't, I was so busy flying I didn't even see it. And the net result is there was utterly no difference to me. It just worked. However, this does not mean I'm about to get rid of my analog goggles, because the thing is, the picture on the orcas with analog, the optics are optimized for analog, and it's just so much wow and immersive. It's just huge on the orcas, or rather it feels huge, whereas on the DJI the analog feels small, and I guess it's just the way that the screen displays. But apart from that, it's not enough that I would have a problem to use them, and I think that if you do happen to own a pair of DJI goggles and that's all you've got, hell, do it, because it's well worth it. Why spend the money on another pair of goggles? And maybe one day we'll see DJI actually release it all integrated with the option of a Fat Shark style. bay on here, because that would be, you know, they would clean up the market if they did that, to a degree. And then the only other mod I did, I got one of these little things plugged on the back, which is my little adapter for my head tracker. Because I've got the whole wireless head tracker, you can see all about it in earlier videos, but the end goal is that I can actually pop these on my head, put the wireless head tracker on, and actually still use it for all my normal regular gear. Whether or not I will is yet to be seen. I mainly did this just as an exercise because A, I could, and B, it might tempt me to fly the digital a little bit more. But apart from that, hey, the iFlight mod is fantastic. I think you can't fault it. It's not that hard to install. It's probably the thought of it is more scary than the actual job. And apart from that, yeah, try it. If you've got these, try it. You won't go wrong. Anyway, guys, enjoy. Have fun.